What exactly is money mindset? Hi, I'm Carleen Laymay with C2 Accounting and Business Support, and I am so excited. I am here with our special guest, Chrissy Key Rollins, founder of Holistic Restoration, and she is going to talk about money mindset. So, Chrissy, I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I could never do as good of a job as you could tell us all about you. So, why don't you just tell us who you are, what Holistic Restoration is, and just kind of, because I know, what is money mindset? Give us a quick definition of what that is.
Absolutely, Carleen. First of all, thank you so much for having me here this morning. I am honored to be here and talking about this topic because I think it's so important, and it's one that's not discussed as much as what are the action steps that we take involving money. So thank you for bringing this conversation to the table. And my work with Holistic Restoration is that I focus on holistic mindset and business coaching. So instead of just looking at what physical steps you need to take in order to accomplish what it is that you want to achieve, be it in your life or in your business, we go behind the scenes and we take a look at what is happening energetically, what is happening within your own thinking, within your belief system that is causing you to take action or to not take action. And when we can take a look at what is lying behind the scenes, then we can start to better align our thoughts, our words, and our actions. And then the actions become a natural side effect of our beingness instead of trying to force ourselves to get results.
Fighting against our natural selves, exactly.
Yes.
So how does that tie into money mindset?
Absolutely. It ties in huge to money mindset, especially for us business owners. So often, again, we are very much focused on what are the action steps? How do you get money? How do you get clients? How do you make a sell? What do you say? How do you make your website look? How do you make the presentation look? And it's very focused on this external lining up and getting things just so. And the problem with that is that some people can do that very, very well, and some people can't do that very well. So if you can't do that well, does that mean you're destined to not be able to have money and income? And then what if you do that and you do it pretty well, but you still don't get the money and income that you see other people get? That's when I started to take a look at, it's not just the actions that are being taken, but what is the person thinking? What are they believing? What energy, what spirit are they bringing to the actions that they're taking? And what I have found to be consistently true for myself, and now work with other people and find to be consistently true with other humans that I work with, is that when we can take a look at what we are believing and the energy and thoughts that we're bringing and carrying along with us with the actions, we can better understand why people are saying no, why people aren't engaging with our actions, with our offers, especially whenever they're hitting the mark externally, when they're looking the part, but they're just not getting the results.
So something just popped into my head, Chrissy. I have a question. So you mentioned when people aren't aligned and it makes it difficult to get what they're looking for, to make the money they're looking for. Have you found that there are people who actually are able to make the money, but because of their mindset, they can't keep the money?
Absolutely.
So is that something as well? Is that another aspect of money mindset, or is it the same?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it reminds me of the post that you made to kind of kick off this conversation on social media before going here live today. It's not just about being able to make money. I think a lot of us can identify with being able to make some money. We've been able to make some money before. I've made some money in my business before, right?
Right.
The key to it is making consistent money. And a lot of us are kind of ingrained and conditioned into an all or nothing mentality. We also are often ingrained into a if it's not broke, don't fix it mentality. And we are often, as a result of these things, way more reactive than proactive to situations. So what will end up happening, and I know that this was a cycle that I had to break myself out of, and I see it to be so common with the entrepreneurs that I work with, is this work until you get results. And then once the results start flowing, you take a little vacation, you kick back and you relax. And what you don't
Exactly.
realize that you're doing on the subconscious levels is that all that you're doing is lining life back up to these old beliefs that are really running the show, that are going to quickly slingshot you back to the life experience that you were having before that increase started to come. And when we can really start to peel back the layers, when we can understand how our emotions are tied up in this, how so much more than just our daily actions are tied up in the daily results that we get or the daily experience that we have, then we can start to see that, oh, there's so much more to the story. It's not just that I am waiting until everything starts to kind of crumble to proactively or to reactively go after something again, but this is actually a really deep rooted cycle of creating drama, creating chaos, and operating often from some sort of misguided belief system that in some way you're not enough. And if you're
Wow, that's
perpetually
powerful.
running off of this place of I'm not enough, you're going to unconsciously make decisions that lead you in a direction of being way more reactive to life versus proactive. Because when you can flip that switch and start to be more proactive, then you actually start to gain stability. You have some balance. You can have that consistent flow. But if we've only known struggle, if we've only known not enoughness, if we've only known waiting for the other shoe to drop, if we've only known the rug being pulled out from underneath us,
Right.
then we will perpetuate these cycles with the way that we approach money. And it has very little to do with the actual dollars and so
Yeah.
much more to do with the overall experience that we have with it, which is why I feel it's such a clue as to why we need to take a look at what are we thinking and believing about money, because it's not the physical things about money, it's more the experiential things around money. And to me, that's just kind of a clue on where to look. I kind of
Right.
think of myself as like a mystery detective or something like that. Like what's
Why is it that you think this way about money? I've always talked about,
exactly.
your personal story affects your business money. But I'm not, this is not my expertise as far as whys. So you can answer the whys. I can tell them once they figured out the whys, I can definitely help them get to where they need to be. Why
Absolutely.
they have to do that work, the internal work to get to where
Absolutely.
you want to be. So is there just three really quick tidbits that you can leave our viewers with so that, when they're thinking about mindset, it's a lot and there's a lot to think about, but are there three things that you have in your experience been able to go, okay, these are three quick tips that I could give you that you can walk away with? But then of course, if they want more information, we could tell them how to get that later.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So the top thing that comes to my mind, that the biggest game changer for me personally, whenever it came to my own personal money mindset, is understanding that it wasn't money that I was so tripped up over. It was confidence. I lacked confidence in my ability to create consistent money. I lacked confidence in my ability to be able to communicate with people in a way that made them want to take action and invest in my services. It was never my services. It was never money. It was always confidence, some kind of confidence around money. So that would definitely be my top tip when it comes to money struggles. Anywhere that you're feeling that, anybody get that?
Yeah.
Whenever money comes into the equation, right?
Exactly. When that bill comes or you get the email or the thing that, yeah, we've
Yeah.
all been there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that kind of feeling, right? That is just a sign that you're not confident. What is it that you're not confident about? Be able to pinpoint where you're lacking confidence, and it will help you to relax. And whenever you relax, here's my second tip: money flows very easily. Money is just like all of us. It's energy, right? We're energetic beings. Money's an energetic thing. So like attracts like. Just like we're drawn to people who are relaxed versus people who are chaotic, money is drawn to people who are relaxed versus people who are chaotic. Because you notice money doesn't just spontaneously appear like you're just sipping your coffee and then boop, there's
That would
money
be
on your desk,
lovely. That
right?
would be awesome.
Money comes from other people. It comes through other people. So if people are attracted to people who are relaxed, money is attracted to people who are relaxed.
Interesting. I've
It's
never
the
thought
people.
about it that way.
I know.
So,
I never thought about it that way quite exactly until
yeah.
right now. So there's a little expansion for you.
Wow, that's
Um,
actually, so let me just rephrase that. So you're
yeah.
saying that money is energy and
Yep.
it's attracted to calmness,
Mhm.
but money doesn't just magically appear. It's
Yeah.
going to come in the form of people. So if
Yep.
you're putting people off with your energy, the
You got
people
it.
that you need to attract are not going to come into your life.
You got it.
into your business.
You got
Hmm.
it.
I,
You got it.
I am starting that one on my list. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So anywhere that you're feeling a little shook up, look to see where you're lacking confidence.
Mm,
The more relaxed you are, the more
okay.
attractive money is to you.
Okay. That's
Right.
it too.
And let's see, what's a good one to step 3? Hmm.
And tip two was so awesome. It's like
I
you have
know,
to really
right?
be hard to top that one.
There's going to be a great one that comes through here. Let me peek down here and see. Yeah. Okay. So anywhere you're shook up with money, look at where you're not confident.
Mm-hmm.
Money is more attracted, the more relaxed you are. The more aligned you are, the
Mm.
more relaxed you become.
Hmm.
So alignment,
Explain that. Yeah, so let's
go
explain what
ahead.
alignment is.
So alignment happens when the beliefs that you carry in your heart, the thoughts that you're thinking in your head, the words that you're using out into the world, and the actions that you're taking. When all of those align, that's where the flow happens. That's where the magic happens.
Mm.
That's where we relax into our skin. That's where we come alive. That's where the magic happens. So
Okay.
when the magic's not happening, one of those things is out of alignment. This happens a lot for business owners in particular, because, we have the belief that we're carrying something good. We have the thoughts that we can do this, but then the conversation that we're having outwardly isn't matching what it is that we're carrying inwardly,
Mm.
or what we're doing outwardly isn't what we're doing inwardly isn't matching up with what we're doing outwardly. And that misalignment causes things to just miss the mark. It
Right.
causes people to say, wow, I really, really like you. And yeah, this really sounds great. But I've got this other expenses coming up. People start to make excuses as to why they can't move forward, why they can't
Mhm.
invest, why they can't do it now. And if that's something that you've experienced a lot, is like, wow, I've made these great connections. We have these great conversations. People seem to get to know me. They seem to like me. They seem to trust me, but they're not taking action. Always go back to alignment. And I have
Hmm.
a really great, simple procedure that I walk people through to help you to identify where are you out of alignment and where do you need to get into alignment. Because as soon as you make those shifts, the flow just happens naturally. You came here to flow. That's
Okay.
why anything other than flow feels awkward and uneasy, because you came here to flow. So being able to know how to identify your own personal, I call it your authentic alignment factor, that little indicator that lets you know if you're in the flow or not. For me, it was pivotal, because as soon as I could shift that, my actions would take care of themselves. I didn't have to force myself. I didn't have to get stuck in procrastination or analysis
Right.
paralysis. Flow just happens.
Yes. So I heard what you said about, you have these great conversations, you make these great relationships, but the person's not ready to invest or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's great for a service business. Can you use that same concept with maybe a product business? Because some of our viewers are actually going to, they're not selling themselves. They're actually building a product, or, something that they're actually selling. How does that work for them?
Absolutely. Well, it looks very, very similar to that. I have represented a few different products along the line. So I've certainly had that same thing happen whenever it comes to the actual product. They'll like it. It will make sense. I rep and still am partner with a line of nutritional products. And people will look at the ingredients and they'll look at the nutritional label and they'll be like, oh, this is only 260 calories. And I just can't, I know that I can't live off of 260 calories. So I'm going to have to pass on this. That's what it looks like. It looks like a reason. It looks legitimate. It looks unarguable. But really what it is a disconnect
Mm.
and a lack of being able to connect that person and what they hold valuable to the fact that what you're offering is going to bring that to them.
Okay.
So it will look that same way. It will
So
be a rejection around something
right.
that happens. Now, it's not to say that when you're perfectly aligned, everybody buys from you and everybody says yes to you. It's not that. It's just that those who don't, it feels different. You're actually equally happy whenever they say that they're not going to.
Because it makes sense and you realize that
Totally
it
makes
wasn't
sense.
a fit for them.
Yes.
Yeah. So now, after you've made the sale, after you've had these clients and you're making money, which is what we're all doing this for. We're all in here to make money, to make a living, to support our families. But then some people run into money problems. And it's because they are hesitant to run their business like a real business, I find. They take bad advice. They don't want to invest in what they need to invest in to grow. So how does the money mindset affect those people? So let's just assume you're out there, you're in alignment, you're making the money. Where's the next stumbling block that you find that that's happening for people?
Yeah. Okay. So a couple of things it came to mind as you were saying this, and let's just redefine money real quick, because
Okay.
this is the way that I had to like just recondition my own mindset. And I have an amazing 21-day program, the 21-day money power shift, that will walk you through step by step how to recondition the way that you think about money, how to change the relationship that you have with money, the relationship that you have with yourself whenever it comes to money. And this is part of the process that I introduced with that. Moving forward, I encourage you to reflect on or consider money no longer representing dollars that you have in your bank account, but a reflection, a physical representation of how connected you are to your self-worth and to your own personal value.
Okay.
So when I hear things are flowing right along, but then money problems hit, it is just the next layer of deepening your faith and reconciling within yourself somewhere that you are still believing that you are receiving as a result of your actions instead of receiving as a result of your beingness, because you came here to be supported with every step that you take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I find that I've become part therapist along with being an accountant.
Yes.
Yes, money is one of those things that people are just funny about, just like we hear the stories about the person who cleans their house before the housekeeper comes because they don't want them to see how they really live. It's kind of very similar. People are embarrassed when they ask for my help in cleaning up their books. So, but what I've learned is that if they're not ready to make the shift, I can come in and do all sorts of things to help you get it straight. But if you don't change the way you think about your business, about money, and about, like you said, your worth, that you're worth in the investment of having someone to help you to get through the parts that you know that you can't do, it doesn't make a difference. And I've actually decided to not work with certain people because it's like, no matter what I do, you're not going to change. And I I should have sent them to you, but I can't help you. So so it's, but I never thought about it as a worth. And, when, it gets even more difficult when you have partners, because now it's not just one partner's worth. If there are 2 or 3 owners in a business, you're dealing with 3 different mindsets when it comes to money. So you have to kind of do some group therapy, so to speak, as a team to figure out how this is going to work, which is, I've never even thought about that until just now. So
absolutely. You are just hitting the nail on the head left and right.
yeah.
You're on point. And what's interesting too is that a lot of this conversation is really sparking a conversation that I was just having over the past 2 weeks with a group of individuals that I was leading through a body breakthrough program, because it's all about redefining how you relate to your physical self and how you show up within yourself. And so many of the struggles that I see people have with money and finances mimic the struggles that I see people have with their body and weight gain and weight loss, and being able to sustain consistent lasting results and balance in either of those 2 arenas, and quickly finding themselves slingshotting back to where they started from, if not a worse off point. I watched myself do this physically in my body. I watched myself do this in my finances, and all of that shifted and settled when one thing changed. And it wasn't learning how to get savvy at business. It wasn't learning finally how to eat right.
As we know.
Right. It was changing the way that I related to myself.
Wow.
Because you will only show up for yourself to the degree that you believe you're worth showing up for. And because we have so many emotions entangled and self-identity entangled with food and with relationships, you mentioned relationships, and with finances, these are the 3 main tripping points that I find take entrepreneurs out of the game. They can't stay focused because their relationship is in an upheaval. They can't stay focused because they feel ashamed to do live videos because of the way that they physically look. They can't stay focused because they have no idea if they're going to be able to pay that bill, which ironically isn't due for another week, but yet today it's stopping them from being
Yes,
productive. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
So the more that we can find our own autonomy and untangle ourselves from all this societal conditioning, all this pressure that we feel is crushing us from the outside, but truly is coming from the inside, which I believe is not to crush us, but to wake us up,
Hmm.
then we can start to pay attention to where the real settling needs to happen. And as we learn how to settle within ourselves, we find that life begins to settle around you. And when I focus not on doing everything right, but just loving the one who's going through all the things so desperately wanting to get it right all the time,
Right.
that's when things started to shift. It's an inside job. So money mindset really comes down to self-awareness and understanding that it is not a result of what you're doing outwardly in the world, but what you're doing outwardly in the world is a result of how you're tending and showing up to things internally. And because the entrepreneurial endeavors are we just make them so personal. Everything that we do, we pour ourselves into, we pour our hearts out there. We think that we are our business, and then we show up and treat our business like we show up and we treat ourselves. And typically it's not very good. When you
Yeah.
can understand that you are not your business, you are a steward of this message that you have in your heart. You are a steward of the knowledge and the information that you carry with you that you can help other people with. And then you can start to get behind your own mission the way you want other people to get behind your mission. And you start to show up the way you want other people to show up. I'm getting chills just talking about it. Try to stop life from sending you flow when you can make that subtle shift. And until then, while you keep tripping up over things externally, just understand you are not the problem. It's just the way that you're thinking about this situation. And if you need help seeing things from a different perspective, reach out to me. I will sit down with you. I will walk you through a process. Carleen can attest to it. And at the end of our conversation, you absolutely will have clarity on what that best next step is for you. And of course, if there's any resources that I have that can help to support you, like the money power shift or like the body balance breakthrough, or even like a self-worth power shift or self-love power shift, I have great tools and resources that can get you connected, and also other directions that I can point you into if there is a different avenue to take. So
We'll definitely post all of
look
those
at it.
resources in the post here. And I will
Absolutely.
just say, having gone through your money mindset, the 21-day shifting, is that it is continual. You will forget, just like everything else. You go back to your old ways. You go back because I've gone through stuff, and I need to go back and revisit what I learned from you before, because you do forget, and you let society and all the outside things kind of put you back to where you were. So I will say,
Absolutely.
whoever's listening to this, if it's resonating with someone and they're thinking, okay, I'll do this mindset shift, and all of a sudden everything's going to be perfect for the rest of my life. It doesn't work that way. It is work. It
Yeah.
is work.
And
But
I'll
it's
tell
worth
you,
it.
the power shift, the money power shift came forth on the backside of me realizing all of these mindset perspectives that I share throughout the 21 days. And what happened was I was sitting at a time where I had very little money in my bank account, and I had a lot of money due. And for the first time, I was cognizantly aware of the fact that this was happening, but I wasn't freaking out. And I was like,
Mm,
wait, what just happened? Like, I was just relaxed. Okay, I've got that many due. Okay, I've got this many days. Okay. And then I was like, wait a minute, that's wildly different.
than how you would
I thought that feeling came about with piles of money in my bank account.
have.
I thought when I have all that financial security, then I can relax.
Yeah.
But I realized, no, I'm relaxing now. And actually, that's the only reason that I'm interested in overflowing bank accounts, so that I can relax. So how can I relax now without having what it is that I think I need in order to relax? And that's when I started to teach the 21 days. And these are the thought processes that I was using. This is what was going through my mind. This is what was allowing me to relax. And once I pinpointed to that, once I started to share it, once I saw that it wasn't just me that was affected by this way of thinking, but I watched client after client after client literally forever change the way that they relate with money forever stay relaxed, even if they still have a lot of student loans, even if they still have whatever happening financially. They are relaxed, they are empowered, and they are confident. And it is such an amazing thing, but it is not because you just know this information.
Right.
It's because when life looks anything other than it's okay to relax, this is the information you go back to.
You have to go back to
remind yourself of. And eventually you'll remind yourself of this enough that the rest just won't ever be interpreted as a crisis or a problem. It'll just simply be how life is. And that to me is way more powerful than having everything lined up just so, having all these things in place and knowing that it's okay to relax then. I'd rather be able to relax now. And the more that I relax, the more flow that comes, just like with people. The more that somebody's confident, relaxed, and sure of themselves, the more attracted you are to them. And that's the same way that people work as they're attracted to your business. And remember, people carry the money. It comes through the people.
It's a very circular thing. Well, I have learned a lot from this conversation. So, and I do appreciate you taking the time to speak with us today. And what we'll do, I mean, you've given people some tidbits of some of the resources that you offer. So we'll definitely put them in the links. But I will say that for anyone who's even considering working with me, if your money mindset isn't right, it becomes a lot harder to put in the systems that you need to put in place to grow your business. There's only so much that I can do as an accountant if you internally haven't done the work. So I appreciate you coming on today, and thank you. Is there any last thoughts that you want to leave our viewers with today?
Yeah, I'll just invite people over to connect with me online and offline. You can join me online here on Facebook at the Conscious Success Community Facebook group. You can go to the short link bit.ly/Conscious Success Now. And in that group, I have a 5-day Transform Fear into Confidence challenge and a 3-day distraction detox that you can just plug into instantly whenever you enter the group. So I invite you to engage with those. And also, if you're here local in the Clayton, Garner, Triangle area, I host a monthly women's group, just women empowering women looking to build relationships. Yes, Carleen likes to come by that one. We meet the first Wednesday every month, 8:30 to 10 a.m. at the Ugly Mug at 4042. And then I host a leadership circle. Same idea, come together with other leaders and business owners in the community, build relationships, meet as peers, have real talk, much like what we're having today. And remember that you have what you need within you instead of like coming to another training where there's just more stuff that you got to carry around with you. So we host that downtown Clayton, second and fourth Wednesday of the month, 11:30 to 1 p.m. at their back table. Would love to see you there. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Christy. We appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely.
This is Carleen Laymay with C2 Accounting, and we had a very interesting conversation about money mindset and how it affects your business finances. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.